Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you, students? I hope that you're all fine. Inshallah, in this video, I'm going to continue the lesson which is on page 50. And again, it's Unit 6. In Unit 6, and the title of the unit is Natural Resources in Jordan. And the lesson here was about what? It was about a quiz show, if you remember, right? And what is the name of this quiz show? The name of it is what? A Mastermind. The show or the quiz show called Mastermind, right? And there are two people who were introduced in this quiz show. The quiz master who asked the questions, and Jamal, an expert who answered the questions, right? In the previous video, you have listened to the dialogue, and first you have learned the meanings and listened to the dialogue to get an idea of the lesson, right? We have listened to the dialogue or to the quiz show. We have known that there were some questions that the quiz master had asked to Jamal, has asked Jamal about, right? And Jamal had answered all the questions correctly. Now, in this video, I'm going to read the dialogue and explain with more details, okay, to get or to develop further understanding. And then you have to answer some comprehensive questions which are on page 51. Let's look at the vocabulary again to revise it with you. The vocabularies that I have here is abundant. It's abundant. Abundant, which means what? متوفر بكمية كبيرة. Derived, يشتق من. Tidal, which means what? اللي هي المد والجزر. Biofuel, which means الوقود العضوي. Hydro, which means مائي. Primary means أساسي. And worldwide بمعنى or which means اللي هو عالمي. Okay, we have also mentioned the meanings in English. Okay, and we have also talked or learned these new words, which are photovoltaic, which means طاقة كهروضوئية. Geothermal, الحرارة الأرضية أو الجوفية. Tidal, المد والجزر. Self-taught, متعلم ذاتيا. Okay, we have listened to it, answered the questions or answered the main question here, okay, talked about it, and now let's read each part and explain it more further. Let's start now. Mastermind. Today on the show, we have Jamal Sabah, who is a self-taught expert on the history and future of Earth's resources. Jamal, you are going to answer as many questions as you can about Earth's resources. Okay, start the clock. What are the 7 types of renewable energy? They are solar, wind, hydro, biomass, wave, tidal, and geothermal. Correct. Why is solar energy called primary renewable energy? It is the origin of many other sources of energy. It's also the most abundant renewable energy source. Is wood a renewable energy source? It is in Europe. However, if growing it, cutting it, drying it, and transporting it uses more energy than it actually provides when it's burnt, we cannot say that it is renewable. Now you have to read it by yourselves again. And after that, we shall what? Explain each paragraph or each part of it. Now, after you have read it, okay, let's just explain it point by point. Today on the show, we have Jamal Sabah, who is a self-taught expert on the history and future of Earth's resources. So, what is Jamal Sabah? Okay, an expert of. Okay, تمام. So what is Jamal Sabah an expert of? Or on, sorry. He's an expert on the history and future of Earth's resources. What is Jamal Sabah an expert on? He is an expert on the history and the future of Earth's resources. Okay? Jamal, you are going to answer as many questions as you can about Earth's resources. So, what is the subject of the questions that the quiz master is going to ask? What is the subject of the questions that the quiz master is going to ask? It is about what? Earth resources. It's about Earth's resources. He is questioning, or he's asking some questions about it. Okay, the first question was about what? Let's look at here. Start the clock. What are the 7 types of renewable energy? So this is the first question here. Here we have 7 types, okay, of renewable energy. What are these types? They are solar, and we have mentioned solar before, which means شمسي أو الطاقة الشمسية, right? Wind, hydro, biomass, wave, tidal, and geothermal. And about wave, what the meaning of wave? Wave means اللي هي إيش؟ الأمواج. Okay? So these are the 7 types of renewable energy. Next. Why is solar energy called primary renewable energy? This is the second question. Why is solar energy called primary renewable energy? What's the meaning of primary again? It means essential. It means what? أساسي, right? So why is solar energy called primary renewable energy? It's the origin of many other sources of energy. What's the meaning of origin? Origin means أصل. So what? All, let's say, yes, the solar energy is the origin, هي أصل. Okay? The other sources of energy. It refers to what? It refers to solar energy. It refers to solar energy. It's also the most abundant renewable energy source. What the meaning of abundant? متوفرة بكثرة. So it's, which is solar energy, is the most abundant renewable energy source. Type or resource. Okay, question 3. Is wood a renewable energy source? This is number 3. It is in Europe. What the meaning of Europe? Europa. However, if growing it, cutting it, drying it, and transporting it uses more energy than it actually provides when it's burnt, we cannot say that it is renewable. So if we want to grow the trees and then cut these trees, then dry these trees and transport these trees, finally, finally after transporting it, it will use more energy that way, right? It will use more energy than it actually provides when it's burnt. يعني بس للتوضيح، أنا معلومة نوعا ما فيها تداخلات كثير. يعني إذا كانت زراعة الأشجار وقطعها وتجفيفها ونقلها تحتاج طاقة أكبر من الطاقة الناتجة عن حرقها, so it's what? We cannot say that it is renewable. Why do you think that it won't be renewable? Because the renewable energy is what? It's the source that you can what? That you can replace it by another one. Renewable, متجدد, بتجدديها, صح? So that's why we cannot say it is renewable unless if what? If it won't use more energy than it actually provides when it's burnt. What is the difference between renewable and fossil fuels? This is the fourth question. Here, question number 4. Okay. The difference, الاختلاف between renewable and fossil fuels. What do we mean of fossil? الوقود الأحفوري. Fuels, وقود, fossil, أحفوري. You all have heard about the fossil fuels, right? So, the difference between them is what? It's time. What the meaning of time? الوقت. Fossil fuels were created longer ago, but both fuels are derived from living matter. What the meaning of derived? اشتقوا. تمام? And then fossil fuels were created, شكلت, longer ago, from ages, من زمان, من نقط ماضي كثير. But both fuels are derived from living matter. What the meaning of living matter? الكائنات الحية. What are the two main kinds of solar technology? Question number 5. There are two main kinds, نوعين, of solar technology. What are these kinds? 1. Solar water heating. Solar water heating. التسخين عن طريق اللي هي إيش؟ الطاقة الشمسية. Which delivers hot water through pipes. Delivers, توصل. Hot water through pipes. With the meaning of pipes, أنابيب. And solar PV or photovoltaics, which delivers electricity through cables. Okay, so we have two types or two kinds of solar technology. 1. Solar water heating, or let's say A عشان نحدد أو نفصل ما بين الأرقام ونقاط الثانية أو الأسئلة والنقاط الثانية اللي عندك A. And the second one is what? Solar PV or photovoltaics. This is B. These are the two main kinds of solar technology. Question number 6. Which country is the largest producer of nuclear power? I think that it's the USA. I read somewhere that they produce 30% of all the nuclear generated electricity in the world. So, the country that has the largest, or that is the largest producer of nuclear power is what? According to Jamal, it's the USA. Okay? I read somewhere, how could he know, or how did he know that the USA it's the largest producer of nuclear power? He has read somewhere that what does he mean by they? what اللي هي عندكم the USA or people in USA or experts in USA produce 30% of all the nuclear generated electricity in the world. How much nuclear generated electricity is produced in USA? It's about what? 30% of all the nuclear generated electricity in the world. The last question, what energy source, according to experts, will be the most common in the future? What will be the most common in the future? Which energy source? What the meaning of common? Common يعني معروفة، ممكن تكون مألوفة، تمام؟ شائعة. That's a difficult question. Experts say it will be nuclear power. Maybe it's nuclear power, okay? But they also say that we have to develop the way it is produced because otherwise it will be very dangerous. So according to experts, what is the most common energy source in the future? It's what? It's nuclear power. So he recommends that they have to develop the way it is produced. What the meaning of develop the way يعني طريقة إيش؟ The way it is produced طريقة إنتاجها. إنتاج what? Produce what or produce what? It here refers to the nuclear power. Okay? Because otherwise it will be very dangerous. If they don't develop the way of producing the nuclear power, it will be what? Very dangerous. Well, thank you, Jamal. I can tell you that you got every single question right. Well done. Now, after reading this passage or reading this dialogue or quiz show, I hope that you have understood all the ideas. So, let's now answer the questions, or I'll explain the questions for you and you have to answer them by yourself. Then you can check the answers later. Okay? Now, the questions that you have here in your book are what? The first one, what do the underlined words refer to? We have mentioned each word or the pronouns. What do they refer to? The underlined, اللي تحتيهم خط، الكلمات تحتيهم خط. What do the underlined words refer to? Okay. Jamal says that solar energy is the origin of many other sources of energy. Give examples of these sources. What are the sources? Okay, that the solar energy is the origin of them. What the meaning of origin? أصل. Okay, so I mentioned 2 examples of these sources. 3. Do you think that wood is a renewable energy source in Jordan? Why or why not? Do we really in Jordan grow trees in the way that we replace those that we cut down? Does it need much energy to cut the trees down and transform or transport these the wood or the trees? So if you say yes, tell why, and if you say no, also tell why. Is solar power common in Jordan? Nowadays, I can say yes. Solar power, yes, it is common in Jordan. If so, give real examples of how and where it is used. Where can we see the solar power? How can we use it in Jordan? Okay, if not, give suggestions of how and where these 2 technologies could be used. And again, what are the 2 technologies or solar technologies? What were they? Solar water heating and the PV energy, right? اللي هي عندكم كانت اللي photovoltaic. Okay? After answering the questions by yourselves, you can check your answers from these answers. Okay? They are the model answers for those questions. This is the end of the video or the lesson today. I hope that you got all the ideas and understood every single word in the dialogue. Inshallah, the next time we are going to take a new lesson بإذن الله تعالى. يعطيكم ألف عافية يا أول.